All right, how to graph. Okay. Real simple. Okay? I'm going to give you an equation. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. Okay? So all the numbers are different. We have to remember our base equation. Our base equation is our goddess equation. What is that?
mx plus b.
Y equals mx plus b. Okay? Whereas m implies the slope and b implies the y-intercept. Okay? And the y-intercept is exactly what it states. It's where the line intercepts the y-axis. Okay? This is the y-axis. Goes up and down. This is the x-axis. Goes left to right. Okay? So the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. And this is how I suggest to do it every time.
So we have to draw the x and y line every time we solve.
I would, for the beginning,
Use the line. Okay.
I would draw your line every time. It just gives you practice. That's all. Okay? And here's the thing I would also do. Oops. Use a different color. Y equals mx plus b. Oh, that's easy. There's m, there's b. This is what we call point slope. Or not point slope, sorry. This is what we call a slope-intercept form. Okay? Slope, intercept, form. Okay? When it's in slope-intercept form, you can look at y equals mx plus b, and it tells you exactly what everything is. This is the slope. M equals negative 1/2. By the way, 1 over negative 2 is the same as negative 1 over 2, right? Which is the same as negative 1 over 2, right? So, when we want to do graphs, we want it either like this or like this. When it's like this, we want to assign the negative to either the top or the bottom. Can't be in both, because if it was negative divided by a negative is a positive, so you can't do that. Okay, so assign it, top or bottom. Okay, doesn't matter which. Okay, so I know what the slope is. What's my y-intercept? 3. This gives us our starting point. Starting point. No pun intended, but kind of, right? Because it's a point. How many points do we need to draw a line? 2. So we have a starting point. 1 starts it. And then we make our second point from there. Okay? The starting point is at 3. But where at 3? B equals 3. What 3? And so that's where we want to know, oh, 3 on the y-axis. Because that's where the line crosses the y-axis. So when b equals 3, y equals 3. Boom. Okay? So I know that's a point. Okay? Then I'm going to take this red and I'm going to draw the slope. What does the slope tell me? Well, it's, remember what it said? We said over there, we said rise over run. So slope equals rise over run. Well, how do we rise? We rise up and down, right? So up and down is what we're doing on the top. And to left is what we're doing on the bottom. Running right or running left, right? Or rising down, rising up. Okay? So we're rising negatively, we're rising positively. We're running positively, we're running negatively. Does that make sense? So, I'm going to rise -1 from this point, -1. I'm going to run 2. 1, 2. So that's where I'm going to. I'm rising, I'm coming down -1, and I'm running 2. But remember, I said it could easily have been this one too, right? This could be our point also. So let's look at this point. What if I rise 1? But I run a -2. What happened there? Yeah, it's on the same line. And these are 3 special points. When you have more than 2 points, right, that are on the same line, we call that collinear. Okay? Collinear. Okay? So they're collinear when there's 3 or more on the same line. Okay? So they have to be on that same line. Okay? So I can use either one of these, in other words, and they'll give me the point. I don't have to do it in both directions every time. I can do it in both directions every time because that'll check my work for me. Make sure I'm going in the right... Because how easy is it to go up when you're supposed to go right? Or, you know what I mean? So, you know, practice. And that's why I would say, yeah, do this every time. Do this every time. If it's in slope-intercept form, okay, you want to write out y equals mx plus b above it. Okay? Good? Try one more real quick. All right, I'm going to try it right here. Y equals 3/4 x minus 2. Okay, what's our first step?
Linear equation.
Which is?
Y equals mx plus b.
Good. So, what's m? 3 over 4. What's b? -2. Good. B, remember, this is the same as plus a negative, right? So it's b is the -2. That's crucial. Okay? Now, graph it. So I have a coordinate. Okay, where's my b? Remember, you have y and you have x. Where's my b? B is what?
Negative.
What does B mean? B is where it is crossing the y-axis, right? So on this y-axis at -2. On the y-axis at -2. That's my starting point. Okay? Where do I go from there? M, which is rise over run. So I rise +3, and I run 4, positively, right? Done. Okay? A lot of students get caught up on, well, I have to always start from here. No, 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 no. You don't start your slope from the origin. This is what we call the middle here, the origin. Okay? No. You start your origin, you go from the origin, -2 or +3 in the y direction. So yeah, you do kind of start from the origin, but you go up or down. -2, +3. You go where your y-intercept is. Then, that's your first point. How many points do you need to draw a line? 2. From that first point, you go where it tells you to go. What your slope tells you to do. Right? My slope tells me to rise 3 and run 4. Then I go up 3 and I run out 4 to the right. If my slope tells me to go down 1 and right 2, then that's what I do. If it tells me to go up 1 and left 2, then that's what I do. Pretty simple? We'll see.